and welcome once again to the Stags Bar Monarchs Friday Focus. Myself, Graham Munsey, joined once again by David Harroway. David, after a couple of Fridays off, you were back and you witnessed a comprehensive victory for the Stags Bar Monarchs.
Yeah, solid job from the boys tonight. Sheffield came here with something to fight for, and the boys were at it. All 7 of them trying hard, loads of points, couple of maximums, big win. What more do you want?
What more do you want exactly, David? You may notice we're a little bit more in the shadows than we normally would be. Obviously, we're getting into the winter months. It's dark here now, and our light failed on us just before we started. David, some would say this is the best we've looked all season, but that would be cruel. We'll carry on. So, the job tonight for the Monarchs was just pride, I guess. You know, we bowed out the playoffs last week with another two pretty gutless away performances. We're not really going to sugarcoat those for whatever reason. But they're still, including tonight, there was 2 home matches left, 6 points available, finished as high at the table as we can, and Sheffield were coming here needing a win to stay in the playoffs, so they had it all to race for. So it was never going to be easy, but right from the start I kind of felt like the Monarchs had it in the bag.
Yeah, as you say, Sheffield, as we said already, Sheffield had something to fight for. Difficult track for them, as Simon Stead was said when we spoke to him afterwards, and it's easy for the Monarchs to have down tools, but they didn't. They've come here, they've done a thoroughly professional job. A lot of good scores, a lot of wins, a good pass for Willie later on. I think we'll watch that later. Yep. And some good points, and James Sargent going well. All, as I say, all 7 of them. And I think the only last places we're on was a couple of Connor goals.
Yep, and you mentioned that there, obviously a job to do, and boy did the top men do it. You know, Sam Masters never troubled. I think he was ahead at the second bend, or ahead at the second bend. Ricky Wells had to work a wee bit harder towards the end of the meeting, but he backed Sam up. Both of them finished in 14+1. I think James was paid for 9 off the top of my head. Yep. Cameron maybe a little bit subdued, but we still had that heat win to finish the night. Josh had a couple of paid wins, or one paid win and a win, and Willie with probably the race tonight, which we'll see later on Heat 12, and would have had a heat win in Heat 2, but for the fact he's seen a red light on the 4th bend off a camera, he stopped, and then by the time 2 of them were passed, he realised and carried on, but couldn't get back in. So positives all the way down the scorecard for the Monarchs.
Yeah, as you say, I mean, that's a crazy one with the camera, but he's still got 3rd place. That shows how far he was ahead. By the time he switched it back on, he was still in point scoring position. But as you say, Josh and 8, Ricky and Sam both on maximums, and Connor picking up a couple of points, 3 points as well. That's what we need for the Monarchs, and we've been doing that all season here, and just another example of it.
That's it. I mean, the home form hasn't really dipped. Obviously, we had that one blob, as they call it, on the scorecard when Glasgow came. Obviously, the circumstances around that with Kyle Howarth, our guest on the night, missing out, didn't help. But that's not an excuse. We still got beaten fair and square on the evening. But the guys have generally done well, and none more so than Ricky Welsh tonight. I caught up with Ricky after the match. Ricky, obviously it's been a tough spell for you. You've had a wee bit of a rest this week, and it seems to have done good. A maximum for tonight and a big win for the Monarchs.
Yeah, it's been a while to get a maximum around here. I normally don't take about 2 heats to wake up, but yeah, it was okay. Felt back to my normal self tonight and made some starts, and had some good first corners and some good racing. So yeah, keep that going for the few remaining meetings, and yeah. I don't think I'm not lying when I'm saying looking forward to the end of the season, but tonight kind of makes it a little bit better. I
guess at this stage now, for the Monarchs' point of view, obviously we know we can't make the playoffs. It's just a case of getting up as far up the table with a couple of home wins, and we've still got that Scottish Cup. So while it's not the goal everyone's after, it'll still be a wee bit to finish the season on a high.
Yeah, you know, everyone's trying to put themselves in the shop window for next year, I guess. But yeah, it's a bummer that we can't contest for the playoffs. Everyone on the team wanted to be in it, so you know, it hasn't happened from one reason or another, and we've had some shocking away performances, and yeah, I'll be the first one to put my hands up that I've been normally I'm probably better away than I am at home, but you know, I've struggled this year for a bit, and it's hasn't been nice, but what do you do?
And then tonight, obviously, you started the night on fire at the traps, and then towards the end, you actually had to work a wee bit harder. There was one race with Brock. Obviously, he's a kid you've probably seen grow up over in the States. A big performance by him, and it must be nice to get one over on a guy you've known for a while.
Yeah, he's a good friend. He stayed at my house the last 2 nights, so you know, he's having a good season. I'm happy for him. He's always giving it a good shot. I think sometimes he kind of maybe goes a little bit too big, but he's still learning. I mean, people forget he's been over here for this is his 2nd year now, but he hasn't done a full season yet, so he's got a lot to learn, but he just shows he's got plenty of talent, and I think going to Sheffield straight in was a good move for him, because you know, we don't have tracks like that at home, and I said to him when he went to Sheffield, I said, you gotta kind of sack up a little bit, and it's a hard place to go as a home track, so he's done that, and fair play to him.
And then from your own point of view, obviously you've still got the Premiership playoffs with Poole, so still a chance for a bit of glory.
Yeah, that's what kind of got to focus on now, and that's kind of the main reason I took a week off, to try and just get to the issue of my shoulder. It's been annoying, and I just think a week off did me good. And it's I don't think you realize how hard it is, the traveling and everything, until you actually do it. So it's I've done way too many miles this year, and I'm sick of driving. But finish the year off strong, and we'll go from there.
Perfect. Thanks very much, Ricky. Well done tonight.
Thank you.
Cheers, Ricky. So it looks like rest has done Ricky good there. He's been riding through an injured shoulder. I think I heard him say when he was up on the tour getting interviewed, it was 6 meetings in 6 days last weekend. So he just needed that break, and he's gearing himself up for the Premiership playoffs. And we wish Ricky and any other Monarchs, I guess that's the one thing for the Monarchs, they will be able to watch. I mean, off the top of my head, Sam, Cameron and Ricky will all still be involved in those Premiership playoffs.
Exactly.
I think every meeting from it's on BT as far as I've led to aware, so there'll still be plenty for the Monarchs fans to watch.
And of course we've got Cardiff next week with Sam and Cam going down to represent us there. So a few things still to race for, and obviously we got Glasgow at the end of the month to get a revenge against them. That's what we're after.
There we go. Exactly, David. If we flip it now and look at Sheffield's point of view, I guess Sheffield were probably in the position tonight than we were in at Berwick last Saturday. They knew they needed 2 away wins. I think it was minimum 7 points. They didn't quite need the 8 over the 2 legs. Come into a track at Armadale that they traditionally don't do very well at, and then against one of the top teams tomorrow at Glasgow. It was going to be a tough ask. And to be honest, there wasn't the heat leader back up to Danny King tonight. You look at the scorecard: Kurtz 3, Sedgman 1.
Josh
McDonald 0. His first time here in a competitive match.
Was it 3 points between them or something like that?
Yeah.
It's just, you're never going to win meetings with that. I mean, it's probably a good job that Brock Nichols turned up tonight and scored some really good points. Otherwise, I think they'd have been struggling to reach 25, never mind 32 that they got in the end.
I mean, it's hard to gauge. You can't put any kind of blame on the youngsters in the team. Josh McDonald, I think, has only done second halves here. Zane Kennedy, I don't think he's ever seen the place, although he was here at about 4:30 this afternoon, so he was definitely keen. The rest of the way, you had the likes of Brock Nichols, only his second time here. So I guess maybe the disappointment of the team was that middle-order pairing, Todd Kurtz and Justin Sedgman. They've been very good for the Tigers, particularly Earlton. Sedgie, we all know what he's capable of here. 4 points from that middle pairing was really where the match was lost.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when we went to Sheffield, it was both their debuts, and they were brilliant that day for Sheffield. And Todd Kurtz has come here and he's done well. He's maybe getting out the start, making awkward to pass, and we all know Sedgie at his best when his gate in is capable of winning races here. But I mean, they're 5-1 in their first race, and they've had to replace Todd in their second race, and Sedgie's not even got off the tapes. The bike's given up on them, and it's just a bad night for them all round, unfortunately. And as we say,
so if they're looking for the positives, obviously Danny King, you know what you're expecting out of Danny, but at the bottom, Brock Nicholl. There was a few question marks. A few people were maybe unhappy is the wrong word when Sheffield brought Nicholl back in after his Corbin injury, because it meant a young English rider, Drew Kemp, who'd not really done anything wrong, was dropped. But boy, as Nicholl repaid the faith. Was it 12 points tonight? I think he got 17 at Eastbourne. He's been a regular in the high single to double figures at home as well, and a real find, a real prospect for the future.
Yeah, definitely. He's been here a couple of times now, and I mean, he's on paid 12 after 4 races, looking like he's on a maximum, and maybe he tired a bit, but then maybe Monarchs got him, and suddenly we got the better of him. Ricky, as we say, Willie passed him well. Ricky passed him quite hard, but that's speedway racing. We're here to race, and he's done well for them tonight, and as you say, justified the decision to change it round, although it still wasn't enough for them to make the playoffs either.
You mentioned that Heat 14 now. I'm not sure for the angle you had. I wasn't sure actually if Nicholl's engine went, because Ricky did steam under him, but then Brock didn't seem to be able to turn the bike, and he ended up kind of just rolling into the fence. It was almost like something had went and he didn't have the momentum to turn it. But you're right, it's not how you want your night to end in the fence, although he did have the one ride after. Sheffield that's their season over. They look to get a bit of pride back going to Glasgow tomorrow night. I caught up with their team manager Simon Stead after the match. Simon, the task for the Tigers tonight was 4 points to keep the playoff dream alive. That's not happened, but a tough place to come at, and you can reflect on a battle performance.
Yeah, the task was 3 points, but 4 points would have been a bonus. We needed a win and a 4 point win at one of the two. So obviously we're disappointed. Not enough backup for Danny and Brock, unfortunately. But we got lads coming here for the first time, and it's a tough place to come when you've been riding 10 years, never mind your first season in the sport. So obviously we're all disappointed. We were hanging on to that glimmer of hope that we'd got of making the playoffs. We knew it was a tough ask, but unfortunately that's gone now. But we look forward to tomorrow night and trying to finish the season on a high. We didn't lose the dream of the playoffs here tonight. Really, we lost that early in the season, points that we threw away at Birmingham, Somerset, and probably Eastbourne in particular. So, but we kept fighting till the end. It was an unfortunate result, but any place that we needed to come and get an away win, this was probably the last place we'd have picked, especially with them going so well at home. So, is what it is. We'll move on, and like I said, we'll try and finish the season well with a win at Glasgow.
And you look for the positives. Obviously, Danny, a true number one performance, and then at the bottom end, Brock Nicol. There was, I'm not going to say eyebrows were raised when you brought work out. It was a tough decision, obviously, to let young Drew Kemp go, but Brock's really repaid that. I think it was at 17 points at Eastbourne the other week, 12 points here tonight, and some big scores at home. On a season like this, and the Monarchs have had a very similar season, those are the glimpses you've got to take, that for going forward into 2020, there's a good young base of the team there.
Yeah, there is. You can't read too much into tonight with some of the other guys. It's
you mentioned Zayton and Josh have never seen the place before.
They've not, and it's such a tough place. So I think we have got the basis of a good team. Actually, other than probably here tonight, we've looked like being able to win anywhere, and it's just probably just that the sort of track it is, and just the night that we've had, and the season that we've had. Really, it's been one thing after another. We've not had the rub of the green on most places, but there's no excuses tonight. We got beaten by the better team, and like I said, it's just more disappointing because it's put play to our playoff dream. But like I said, we go again. We've got good foundations. We've got a great team. We've built our assets up this year in bringing Zane and the guys in. So we're building our foundations, and we obviously we don't want to miss out on the playoffs next year. So we'll try and come back stronger.
Simon, always a good talker, David. Very forthright in his views, and I guess if you look over the piece, you would maybe say that Sheffield have had a very similar season to the Monarchs. That at times they looked to be going places, there was changes that looked to strengthen them, but in the end, they've fallen short.
Yeah, showing the potential, and they're still hanging on in there. I mean, that Somerset finally confirmed in the playoffs tonight as a result of the scoring there. They were hanging on in there, but ultimately, as you would say for ourselves, and if you're being honest, weren't good enough to get to that playoffs, and that's what happens. You've got to go and get your points away from home. There's no point going close. We've obviously not gone very close. Only a couple of times we've got anywhere near getting points, but maybe Sheffield have done better, but 0 points is still 0 points. You need to get those away wins to get up the table.
Yep, it's all about away wins. Your home wins get you mid-table, away wins get you into the playoffs, and neither ourselves nor Sheffield have really done enough there, and that's the playoffs four set. Of course, a Friday focus never finishes with our heat of the night. A strange heat to come. We've had a couple of Willie Lawson heats in the last few weeks, but a wee bit of a different line here. An outside blast, never really known as a Lawson special, but heat number 12, we'll see that now. Heat number 12 sees Josh Pickering in red from the inside, unbeaten Brock Nicol in yellow from 2, William Lawson blue from 3, and Justin Sedgman on the outside. And it looks like a good start by the Tigers again. Josh Pickering looks to move to the outside to block that move, and he's got round everyone. Sedgman pushed out there and falls to the back. This is the first time Brock Nicol has really been behind anyone since heat 2 when William Lawson pulled up. Do you think you see a red light? We'll see if he's capable of doing anything from the back. A tight inside line by Nicol, probably not the place to be at this stage, as Josh is sitting on his favoured outside line and has built up a healthy lead with 2 laps gone. William Lawson isn't out of this in third actually, as he looks to sneak up on Nicol. If Nicol gets caught napping on that inside, Lawson could make a move as they go into the third and fourth bend for the penultimate time. Lawson going for a big sweep is the move there. Nicol looks over his shoulder, he knows he's there, but he can't do anything about it. Excellent ride there by Willie Lawson. Nicol unbeaten so far, but he sure didn't see that coming as Lawson swept round the outside magnificently on bends 3 and 4 there to join Josh Pickering, who was far away in front, unbeknown what was happening behind him. But that's a big 5-1 to the Monarchs, returning the favour on the Tigers from the last one and restoring that 16-point lead guaranteeing victory on the night. What a ride by Willie Lawson. I don't really remember Willie doing that in his pomp at number 1, David. Now, he sized it up well. He knew that the outside line, particularly on the first and second bend, albeit it was the third and fourth bend he got round him, seemed to be working well, and a good move by Lawson there on a good night. And he scored in every ride. It would have been more, but for the sort of fake stoppage, as it were, in Heat 2. And Lawson's really come on a wee bit of form as the season's progressed.
Yeah, excellent. And he's still out here. He's the one that's going around practicing. I don't know if you heard that at the start of the programme. Still practicing, still trying to get better. I mean, He's never really hit the heights that we really wanted him to do this season, but he's shown in the second half of the season towards the end that the potential still is there. He can still score points. Up to that point, Brock was unbeaten tonight, and he's gone round him pretty easy in the end. Showing a good line, fast, and a good solid 5-1 for the Monarchs.
Yep, cracking effort by Willie there in our heat tonight. So, just to summarise, final score, as we say, was 58 to the Monarchs, 32 to Sheffield. That's it for us pretty much for the night, although the season is winding down a little bit, but there's still quite a bit to come. Keep an eye on the social media and the website. There'll be no action here next Friday, as David mentioned earlier. Sam and Cameron head off to Somerset, trying to get those championship pairs and bring the trophy back here. I think we last won that in 2014 with Sam and Max down there. The Grand Prix next weekend. Currently, our next fixture will be back here 2 weeks tonight, or so 2 weeks on Friday, a week on Friday, as you watch it on the Saturday against Glasgow. There may be a few changes in the programme. Glasgow are due here, but we've still got Newcastle to come in the league, and we're just waiting on fixtures being confirmed. Obviously, Newcastle are in the KO Cup final against Redcar, Glasgow in the playoffs, so those fixtures do take priority, and once those are sorted, the Monarchs will announce our fixtures. Keep an eye on the Monarchs website for that. And I do believe we will have a National League Juniors Championship here as well. Northern Junior League, that's the name, sorry. But again, nothing 100% confirmed on that. Do keep an eye on the website, on the social media. They'll keep you up to date on that. So, David, winter is most definitely upon us. My ears are starting to go numb here.
First time I've worn a jacket.
No, David, where's your no shorts, no jacket? That tells you all you need to know. We're not quite in Siberian temperatures. I believe you'll be in Russia next month enjoying that. But thanks once again for joining us. Good night.